Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Radio Geonosis, where we talk about Star Wars from a certain point of view. I'm Angie.
I'm Aaron. What's up, you guys?
And today we're going to be going over The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, and hopefully some Solo.
Yeah.
What we think about the movies.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we're going to go over some hot happenings this week. Yes, and one of the first things I'm going to talk about is the events coming up. We've got LA Comic-Con at the end of the month. Are you going on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm going on Sunday.
All right,
yeah.
I'm going to try and get a ticket because I am not sure if Saber Guild is going to be there.
Oh, okay.
501st, as far as I know right now, 501st and Rebel Legion is not going to be there.
They're not going to be there?
But the Mandos are. There was some issues, so it's still kind of up in the
air. They were at the last one.
Yeah, it's still kind of up in the air as to what's going to happen. We also have a gob of events going on this month. We have Treats in the Streets, which is going to be in Orange County on the 26th, and we're going to be doing a show there. We also have, I'm going to be at Silver Lake Library next weekend and Petco in Signal Hill, Long Beach for pet adoptions. We're going to do Saber Guild there. No show, just a troop.
Pet adoptions, that's cool. That's dope.
I hope I don't get a lot of hair on my costume because I know I'm going to want to pick up a bunch of animals. We also have a library event in Fullerton, and that is going to be on the 20th. So we've got a ton of stuff going on, and I'm also going to be in a parade on the 27th, and that's Saturday.
Woo!
Yeah, in Anaheim. It's a Halloween parade, so I'm really excited about that. So we've got a lot of other stuff going on. I'm going to do one. You got a news story?
Yeah, I do. I just found this out yesterday. Well, Venom, the movie, Venom's supposed to be coming out Thursday.
I saw the advertisement.
I'm gonna see it on Friday night, 8:35 p.m. showing if anyone wants to see it.
That's cool.
But I already Tom Hardy just like a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, signed on for a 3-movie deal, and that's usually what a lot of people who are doing the superhero movies get. It's usually 3 movies at first, and then later on in the contract, if something's in there to where, oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah, okay. I'm good. Yeah. So like it's they're they usually sign on for 3 movies, and Tom Hardy already signed on for his, and already said that he's gonna do 3 Venom movies because he hopes that Spider-Man crosses over and him and Spider-Man do something. So, with all that being said, my homie Derek Ramos this morning told me that he's already like stepping away from the movie already. Like he's not really doing any promo for it, and it's coming out in just a few days. He's backing off a little bit from the Venom movie already. So there's no official like story I could go like read. I can't go on like CNN and read it or BuzzFeed or whatever the case. I can't. No one's. Yeah, but it's just not even a body language. Just to slow it. He's not really promoting it.
Is he the producer or is he the actor?
He's the actor, and usually when a movie's coming out, there's usually like already like a preview in like another country, Shanghai or somewhere in Japan, and London has a screening of it, and there's a screening in Hollywood. We know the big blockbuster movies. There hasn't been none, to my knowledge. There hasn't been none. There hasn't been anything. So like I'm like just talking about, I'm getting kind of like nervous and anxious. Like what's going on? Like what could possibly have happened within a short amount of time? Them just releasing the trailer together. Like as far as like they seem so happy about it, and then the trailer did well. Like people are losing their minds, but people are gonna go see it. To where it's like
maybe they just have to be a little tight-lipped about it.
Maybe and that could be it. Maybe. Tom Hardy being just the film guy he is, like I don't care about all because he's not that kind of guy anyway. He's like he's an actor. Like he's a rebel actor, but he's an actor. You know what I mean? So he probably just sees it as like, oh, like I did the movie. Let it just do its job. You know what I mean? So almost like a Denzel-ish, the big blockbuster guys kind of way. Like minus Will Smith. Will Smith is out there, like Tom Cruise, right? But there's some actors who they don't do much. But we'll see. We'll see.
With Black Panther, there wasn't a ton of advertisement either.
They just had basically one showing in L.A. That is showing where they just basically turned the whole street, which is basically Wakanda. But when the movie took off, then that's when they kind of made their run. Right. So we'll see if the movie does well. Then they'll probably make their do like, oh wow, we should go to London or Shanghai or Paris or whatever. So we'll see after that. But that was some news I didn't like. And then a photo surfaced of Ben Affleck
No.
super swolled up. So people are saying that's gonna be he's getting ready for bat. I don't look. I don't know what's going on with the superhero movies, but these last few months, the superhero film genre has like taken a. They just been
a
really.
Dump?
It's just it's just been dope. It's just been so discombobulated. No one knows what to do. Everyone's over here. Everyone's doing. It made people so famous and so popular that they're getting this kind of new money and they're doing other ventures, maybe things that they want to do. I know Chris Evans is like, he wants to be a director, he wants to direct movies, take the Ben Affleck kind of route. The list goes on, you know what I mean? So I just these last few months, this last year, maybe
it's
this
like a
year,
tossed salad.
Yeah,
man.
it's just. But I guess that's my news for today. It's just really sad.
Oh no! Don't let it depress you because you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's true.
You haven't seen it yet, so
I'm really looking forward to seeing it just because I know there are a lot of people who superhero movies are basically what people look forward to anyway.
Yeah,
because they're just taking over right now. It's superhero movies and movies based off novels, or bestsellers. You know what I mean?
Not those boring love stories.
No, yeah, no.
It was Love at the Lake House all along.
Yeah, get those out of there. Get that out of there. Like, so it's just superhero movies and based on bestsellers. But bestseller movies, they don't get all this
they don't get the love. They really don't.
They don't get the love, and they don't go through all this, this drama that superhero.
Yeah,
what I mean?
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
That's the best way to gauge that, especially when there's not a lot of information. And sometimes, because Marvel is owned by Disney, right, and they own this.
Yeah, and Disney just took on Sony's.
Sometimes they are a little tight-lipped because they don't want anything to leak out.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. Because I know with Solo and even with The Last Jedi, there wasn't a whole lot of information coming out. Now with the next movie coming out, they are leaking out some information.
True. Very
they're
true.
giving you some tidbits, but before that it wasn't anything. I had some of my news is I had some friends go up to San Francisco from the Saber Guild, 501st, and from Rebel Legion. They went up to see the new Resistance cartoon and absolutely loved it. They loved it. So I think we're going to see, I think this is going to be something that maybe Disney feels more relaxed releasing because from what I've been reading, Disney is going to slow the roll with making movies. Which really is sad.
There was some optimism there. You were optimistic, which is good. And then just a quick,
it went down real fast.
But I said Sony and I meant Fox, so I want to correct myself on that too.
Okay, but Disney. Now I'm reading this, and Disney has already confirmed there will be fewer Star Wars films that will be released next year, which I can in the next years to come, which I can understand. You don't want to oversaturate, but they're Disney streaming. The cartoons and things. That's where they could
focus.
That's where they could really do well. And it says for Jon Favreau, Disney series is expected to start production in October, and this is according to Making Star Wars. And it's going to be a live action television series. They begin filming. I'm trying to read this real quick. And in October, and it says it's supposed to be set on a planet similar to Tatooine, and the series might follow the story of Mandalorians after the fall of the Empire, and this would be taking place 7 years after the events from Return of the Jedi, and they're saying possibly a bounty hunter could be involved, and they're saying that it could end up being
something.
Yeah, it could end up being Boba Fett. So
really?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's kind of like I said. They're leaking out information, and sometimes the information is not correct, or it could be correct. Or we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And as far as Disney streaming, you're going to see a lot of different cartoons coming out, and there is like an open minefield. They can just do whatever.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
I credited like a lot of streaming services to like of course Netflix and Hulu being like the powerhouses and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But, as far as like Disney wanted to go the animation route, I credit that to like the WB animation because like those movies are really good. I think a lot more studios are like, we should just take a crack at like doing big animation production.
Yeah.
Because that world is like very much so alive still. So
and it's cheaper.
Absolutely.
It's cheaper to do that.
Yeah, very much so.
Another hot story is Mark Hamill is going to be on Nightfall, which is a movie, a show on the History Channel about the Templars. So I'm looking forward to see him in that kind of role because I love that. I love that show. I watched the first season, absolutely loved it. I was really sad Joan died. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, I just let that out.
Oh well. Oh, well.
Sorry, I let that out.
I swear he was doing a Q&A, and that's how I heard of it. Scrolling on Facebook, he was just doing a Q&A, and he brought it up.
Yes. So I'm excited about that, and I am excited to see the next Star Wars movie. And with that being said, we're going to be doing a little bit of a review on what we think. Now, with me, we'll just I'll just do like a little summary. I liked. With the first three movies, which are the original three movies, they were like the discovery part of Star Wars. We had A New Hope, we had Empire Strikes Back, we had Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. Those were a look into what Star Wars was all about.
Yeah. When
we had the prequels, even though people don't like them, I like them because it gave us history of Star Wars, mm-hmm. history of the galaxy. That's what I loved about the movies, is that you got to see the Jedi. You saw a couple of Sith, but you didn't see a lot. And so then we go forward with Clone Wars, which was great because then you really got to look at how clones are and how they worked together. Mm-hmm. And now you had The Force Awakens, and it opened the door for even more of different anime, because then you had Star Wars Rebels, which, by the way, I have not seen yet.
I haven't either. I haven't seen it either, so you're fine.
But I liked The Force Awakens because I liked the new characters that they introduced. Mm-hmm. I liked Finn. I liked Rey. I liked Kylo. Mm-hmm. I liked Poe. You got to look at some new people.
Yeah.
And even Hux, you got to see these people, and also Snoke.
True.
You got to see that. But The Last Jedi was, for me, disappointing. It was disappointing. I didn't like it for my reasons. There's too many storylines going on.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was just so many storylines going on. And then you didn't even get to see anything really about Snoke. There was no explanation really about him. There was really, I don't know, it just seemed like it left a lot of holes and a lot of questions. And, even with Luke, his unsurety about things and being on that island. And I don't know, it just kind of gave a, I don't know.
Were you hoping for Luke to like want to be the hero and not be so down and not
yes.
be so,
yes,
not to be like doubting himself and I see that. I could see that. I could see why that would bother people. Just because after all these years, you mean to tell me like he doesn't want to help out his sister? He doesn't want to help out the rebellion who he fought so hard for? So I could see that. Like, I understand that.
I understand his disappointment with Kylo. Yeah, I understand that.
And that's why I could also see. I could see that because he was disappointed in what happened. His plan was really in the end to take out the Empire because he was training Jedi. That was his plan, to train Jedi to where they were strong enough to where he could really go fight, just him and his Jedi all on their backs, no more innocent people, just them. Like, we got this, don't trip.
Right, like in the Old Republic.
I think that was his plan. I think that's what his plan. Like, it wasn't going to happen like anytime soon. Yeah, there were going to be some casualties, and he was going to take that on himself, and he already was. He's like, I know out there everyone's dying, there's people losing their lives, but I have to train these. They're not ready yet. And then, so you have that he has to sleep at night with. And then on top of that, Kylo Ren wipes out the soldiers the family he had, the soldiers he was trying to train.
Right.
So I could see also where the doubt and like the whole give me a drink at the bar mentality he had, throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And the movie was, Star Wars movies, there's triumph at the end. When Star Wars movies end, that music comes on, it's like they saved the day. We know some shit's going to happen in the next one, but for right now, the day saved. With The Last Jedi, there was the uncertainty. Like, who is that? What is it? Where does it time? I don't know. I could see it also. But with The Last Jedi, it's like it was needed in the sense that it's a part of the story. You know what I mean? So it's like I just see this. I had to just deal with it. But like what I mean by it's needed, it was like there are things that were needed. Like there were things also that, as much stuff that we didn't see, that we didn't get to, as far as like find out who Snoke really is, maybe who Rey really is, we did get things that we did need to know. Like, oh, I needed to know that. Like,
right,
but there were some things, but not like the grand scheme of things. And I feel like that might be just the way of not stretching on the Skywalker lineage. I know they want to go another route. I feel that,
and they could,
you know, and I feel the way best, and I could be wrong here. This is all speculation on my end, but I feel like the best way to go about ending the Skywalker lineage and like the whole thing and like turning this the new, like there's new people who's gonna love this movie. You know what I mean? It's at that time, maybe I'm not sure, but I feel like the only way to do that is kind of just in certain instances of the movies or certain characters is just. I know guys, you want to explain, but we
right.
We have notes. I get it, but I can see also where the frustration is too, because even I was like,
this is not making sense.
This powerful guy just got like just tricked like that, you know? Maybe
right.
I don't know, you know what I mean? So I could see it, but as far as like what I love about The Force Awakens, I'll get into like the first Star Wars movies later on, but The Force Awakens was. To me, The Force Awakens felt vintage. That's why I liked it.
Yes.
As soon as it opened up, as soon as it started, the way it was shot, it just felt vintage to me. It just felt like I'm watching
It felt comfortable.
I was just, you know, it's crazy you said that because I was in a comfortable chair when I saw it, like a leaning back, heated chair at the Cinemark in Apple Valley, so it was comfortable. But it just felt, it was a real wholesome movie. The story, the how the music was when it was on Rey, when you actually got to see her without that on, that
right.
That, you know, when she's getting the parts and stuff.
She was adorable.
Exactly. And then that music played, and you also got the sunlight on Jakku once again, and it takes you back. You know what I mean? So that's what I like. And also, again, the characters were vintage too. It's like, I know them from somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They felt familiar.
Yeah. Poe is just a guy who maybe he blew up in his X-Wing a little too early in the movies in episode, you know, in
right.
episode 4 or 5. You know what I mean? I felt like I knew those characters before. They were relatable. You know, even BB-8 was like, oh, he just took R2-D2's spot as just the new droid, and so that's what I liked about the Force, and of course the story. I mean, but with Force Awakens was really wholesome. There was action. I felt like at every turn, which wasn't really what Star Wars, like they definitely have fillers and just pure story sometimes. You won't get action till later. But this one was like a perfect balance of like
yes,
dialogue and just action running away, and then some dialogue and just action. So it had a nice flow, a nice ebb and flow to it. So that's what I liked about the Force Unleashed. And it's like, that's why it's one of my favorite movies ever, just because of the whole vintage kind of feel and just
right.
It just was like the perfect film, not even a Star Wars movie. It was like a perfect film
seemed,
to watch.
With me, with The Last Jedi, everyone seemed very torn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody seemed very torn.
Yeah, there was no like I could figure it out. There was no like. There was no save the day moment. There was just this conflict like within themselves. Just a lot of doubt. A lot of this.
Nobody's coming, you know, and that's just not. Oh, I just.
And that's not the Jedi way. And plus, offer riding the high from Force Awakens of here, Luke. Like it's like, oh, he has to take this lightsaber and just. But
to throw it, I thought that was terrible.
Yeah,
it does the saber a disrespect.
It does, and I remember watching it with that part. There, of course, there were people who were laughing. But like when I go to the movies, and if it's a packed theater, I just look around anyway, just because I don't trust people too much. But I was looking around, and like there were people who were just like, "How could he do that?" You know, what I mean? Like,
right. Because
where is this going now? You know,
right,
people already
because
doubted the movie from the jump.
The saber is almost like a sacred thing.
Yeah.
And to throw it is a disrespect. I honestly thought he was going to train Rey like Yoda trained him, and it ended up, even Yoda himself, seemed a little goofy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And unsure. And in the first few movies, when you see Yoda in Empire and in The Last Jedi, and in Return of the Jedi, there was more surety in him even, and it just seemed, I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And I mean, I still respect it as a Star Wars movie, and I've watched it a few times because you asked me to.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, I really, it is my
least
favorite. It is my least favorite.
And Go
yeah,
ahead,
I was gonna say, and to me, it left too many holes. And even when Rey goes down and snaps her finger, I'm like, what is that all about?
Yeah.
It's not even really telling you what it is.
Yeah.
She can't. We don't know what it is.
And that goes back to just the feeling. Like Star Wars there's times where Star Wars is known for just not known, but like I noticed it. Like they just do little stuff in this. Like why do that? You know what I mean? Like,
it didn't make sense.
There's times where that does happen in Star
Wars.
And
even
movies.
The cow, where he milks the cow and he drinks the milk, and
that part.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know you hate that part, but I really don't know why. I thought it was
because it just seems stupid.
You know what? But he no. There was going back to.
There's no explaining that.
One, I just can't get that image out of my head. Two, it's like going back to the lightsaber thing, the disrespect, and I do agree to a point of like, why chug a lightsaber? Why chug your lightsaber, Luke? This is yours. But who better to throw it than if
and the
Rey
way he lost it in the first place.
True. But if Rey or Kylo Ren or someone else was to throw it, it's a little more disrespectful because they really haven't earned the stripes to chug it. With Luke, it's like this thing that caused so much pain and damage. I could see why, and that's why I asked you to watch, because there's people who don't like movies and like they'll just say like they don't like it just to not like it. Not saying you're one of those people,
right?
By any means, but I like when people understand why you don't like the movie because it makes a conversation like this extensive,
more viable.
Like, I don't like it, and it's like crickets, and it's like, well, we can't even really talk because you don't even know why.
Right,
exactly.
Because even behind if you stop and think about the lightsaber, okay, when he loses it, his father cuts his hand off.
Yeah,
and he finds out that that's his father, and so then he ends up wanting to save his dad, and ultimately does.
Yeah,
and it all started because his hand got cut off with a saber in hand. So it does have a poignant thing to it. And for him to just toss it over his shoulder, it just seemed like this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And that's why it kind of made me, I felt so unsure about it. And even now when I watch it, I still think, why are you throwing something that meant so much?
Yeah. And it's just, I think it's just a toss up between like, it means a lot, but it caused a lot.
Right.
I think like I said, I think I'm just using the term, just throwing it around, but like, again, all speculation, but like, I just believe that was their direction they wanted to go in with Luke instead of like, because sometimes as a director, maybe you might think like, okay, they're expecting this. They're expecting him to just, when you're in the film room, I could only imagine you're just like, with everyone has a coffee and a donut, just like, they're expecting Luke to be a hero. Like, no, we need to make him grumpy, or we need to make him do this. We need to make him drink milk out of it. So they're just like, all right, how best could we?
Well, he wanted to go a different way because I believe he wrote that, right? The director wrote the story.
Yeah.
And it seemed, I mean, I don't know.
And some old guy slouched like this with like a tie on. And, some one guy, because I believe everyone has to answer to one guy, maybe. one lady with long nails, like, go. You know what I mean? Someone was like,
go with this story.
Someone was like, it's cool, it's good. Like, so someone out there was
who didn't watch a lot of Star Wars.
You know what I mean? And that's usually how it goes.
I know.
You know what I mean? But I again with Luke, I could see where the whole grumpy guy at the bar. Give me another one kind of mentality. I see why, because also Mark Hamill wanted an actor who also wants to be known as someone. I just don't do Luke Skywalker. He wanted to try something different, maybe like with the character, instead of being all heroic and dun, like maybe he was like, what if we probably had him? I could see him saying some stuff like that too, so I don't know, but I do understand why that would piss you off, because after all this time, Luke, you should be ready to. But then on top, it's like, you should be ready. How could I be ready when he wiped out all these kids? I was just like,
right.
Oh, yeah.
But even Leia coming
true.
through the window again, I mean, I was like,
that was so
like,
dope to me. Really?
Well,
I haven't seen Leia use any force powers in any Star Wars movie.
So she has the ability to come back to life? Because she died.
The only time I ever seen her use force power, it took a video game, and it took the Force Unleashed for she drew a lightsaber. I've never used. I knew she had the Force, of course, but I've never seen her do anything.
Well, she used it as her one get out of jail and free card.
And that's why that was so impressive, because what that does for me, I think too much sometimes, and I could be reaching, but that made me feel like, what if Leia was just training like this whole time? No one knew. What if she was out there training to where she got that strong to bring herself back to life? That is kind of no
other Jedi has ever done that. No one with force powers.
That's what kind of makes it like. That's why I did that when I saw the movie. I remember vividly, like, what? Like, wanting to get up, forgetting I'm in the movie theater, thinking I'm at home. But, like, I could be reaching, but I'm thinking, like, what if Leia took this thing seriously and was just training this whole time? Like,
yeah, but she would have had to have some sort of information, something from books, in order to understand how to do that, because that was one thing protected.
And that's kind of what, to me, a knowledgeable, brave princess would have a trump card. Like, it's not that easy. You're not going to get rid of me that easy. Right. By accidentally, you're being the one to shoot me, son. Your homie accidentally shoots me out of you know what I mean? So it's like that's what like a princess would do. Like, the princess is dead. Oh no, she isn't. She's alive. You know what I mean? So like, there's moments in the movie where it's like, oh boy, but then it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, I to me, the Canto Bite thing was a waste of time. It seemed like a filler. And then with Kylo Ren and Hux, it seemed like they tried too hard to be mad at each other. Mm-hmm. Then it seems like it's almost forced that they're not to like each other. Yeah. And it didn't flow like Darth Vader and the general. I can't think of his name. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. But it just seemed
on the
like
spot.
that.
I'm horrible.
Yeah, it just seemed like that. It just seemed
Tarkin.
With him and Tarkin, they kind of had a trust and distrust with each other, but they did work a lot. They worked well together.
They worked, and with Tarkin too, he had like even though Darth Vader is Darth Vader, Tarkin had like a "don't mess with me, Darth Vader" kind of look to him too. So it's like Darth Vader kind of knew how far with him to go specifically.
But he could go far. I mean, he could just choke him and be done.
Absolutely. But there was just something about Tarkin where Darth Vader had the respect for Tarkin. It's like, instead of arguing with you, Tarkin, I'm going to flip my cape and just go to my lava house. You know what I mean? It was just, that's what I think that's what you're saying. Like, there was a respect. With Kylo and Hux, there's no respect. No. And also, it's a yin and yang and everything. It's like, is Kylo Ren a guy you would really like want to like anyway? Like, is General Hux a guy you really? They're not likable guys. So it's also at the same time, it's like,
although Kylo Ren he has his. You can see when Luke was going to kill him, he looked up at Luke. You saw a scared little boy.
Yeah, but
and now and when he crushed the helmet in the elevator, you saw a man completely confused about himself. And it just kind of, because the helmet was a part of who he was.
Yeah.
And so then Snoke tells him, take that ridiculous thing off. But it was an important facet in the first movie. Yeah. And so now why is it ridiculous?
True.
And so that kind of confused me. But like I said, I will still acknowledge that it's a Star Wars movie.
It's not my
favorite. But how about Solo? Loved it completely.
Ron Howard being Ron Howard.
Oh, it was so good. It
was
was Star Wars-esque.
Yeah,
It was.
was.
It had quip lines. It had funny little things in there, and it had a more of an in-depth about Solo, who the guy was.
You could tell that Ron Howard either like every other director out there would love to do is make a Star Wars movie, but you could tell that he's always wanted to make one. Tell that he was a fan. And you could tell that he liked Han Solo. Like, he just liked Han Solo as a fan. Like, if you asked him, like, years ago, like, who's your favorite Star Wars character? I want to be probably, Han Solo, for sure.
Right.
It, vintage, again, like, Force Awakens, vintage, the way it was shot, grainy, like the old films. It was real
it
grainy.
took you back to that.
It took you really, it took you back. And I think it also, what helped, it was like, there wasn't some, if I can remember correctly, I haven't seen Solo in a while, but there wasn't too many nighttime scenes.
No.
A lot of dusk, a lot of evening grayish scenes in it too, so where you could actually see the characters. You don't have to, it wasn't dark. You know what I mean? Like, and that kind of represents Han Solo. He's not like a dark character anyway. He's like a lively, chippy, like smart mouth, like, risky kind of guy. So it's like those guys, the scoundrels, those guys wake up early. They're not. Those guys are by the time nighttime comes, those guys are drinking. The job's done. Yeah, they're chilling. Those guys are up early trying to figure out how do I get this? How do I steal this? How do I get that? So that's what it was dope about Solo to me, and also of course, like it was something we needed. Like we needed to.
I believe we needed.
Yeah, leading up to Solo
the new,
here,
Obi-Wan movie.
Yeah, you might get that though. Like I won't rule that out for anything.
I don't think so.
If you do Solo, why would you not do Obi-Wan? Why would you even not do a Princess Leia one? If you're gonna do Solo, why not do an Obi-Wan? Like Obi-Wan's been through more, probably to me, than because Obi-Wan's lived longer. One. He's lived longer. I think he lives longer. He lived longer than Han Solo.
I'm not sure how old he was when he died. He 50s, somewhere in his 50s.
I just have a feeling that Obi-Wan's seen a lot more. So why would you not do a Han Solo? Leia probably seen a lot more too. Just being a princess, she's probably seen all kinds of stuff. So why would you not do that either?
Yeah, we need to know. One of the things that I thought they would do back to The Last Jedi was give us an eye-opening of how the First Order got started.
Yeah.
And we got nothing from that. We actually got nothing. How did this come about? Because you had in The Last Jedi, they took the Empire down. So where did they come from?
The First Order, my speculation is some kind of merger happened. There has to be some kind of handshake, and then one of the people who shook those hands died by one person who was shaking the hand. Somehow or another, they brought the
Senate back together, or
to me, something that big like the First Order and the fear they already have instilled. Right, that comes from just the Empire being the Empire, along with some other evil deity or some other.
But you could tell that the Empire was taken down because you had a lot of ships on. Going back to Rey's planet, there was a lot of ships there. Yeah. There was a lot of, destruction. So obviously they took a lot down in the Return of the Jedi.
And that's why I think there had to have been like some kind of merger, because you guys been wiped out. You guys are pretty much down. You got another year or two or so. You guys are gonna be just like the rebels. You know what I mean? It's like with me, there has to be that guy. Maybe that guy was Snoke. Maybe that guy was Snoke. Maybe
they should have covered it in the movie.
And we wouldn't be speculating right now.
Huh? But also a Death Star. How many? Now we got a Death Planet. They were redoing it. And then I didn't like the fact, I'm going to go off right now, that they were able to track them through light speed. And all of a sudden, in all of the movies, they never talk about gas. And then now they're running out of gas on the ships. I mean, come on. Yeah,
I think I don't know. I don't know, because that's true. They never talked about that. I don't remember them ever talking about loss of fuel or anything like that.
Tracking through light speed is a stretch.
But when the movie started, they were already
in a battle.
Yeah, So I think that's kind of, they were just already into something. So it's just, we're like we've been doing this for so long that the fuel's running out. I don't know.
And
But-
taking out planets. I'm really tired of, that part where they're blowing up planets. Because, if we did that in our solar system, regardless of how many planets are out there, it's going to mess with the solar system.
But-
It's going to mess with the planetary
and that's frightening.
systems.
That scares people. That scares humans. Like, what if something came and blew up the planet? We loved Independence Day. We loved Men in Black. We loved
right. But I'm not talking just our planet. I'm talking about
other different.
Because it could knock everything out of
it's-
whack.
And it's just the ultimate. In all the movies we love, like a planet, whether it's ours or another one, is because it's like the ultimate. What are we gonna do? There's nowhere to run. There's
Right.
No
There's
freeway
nowhere.
to get
Just like Superman, there was nowhere to run.
There's nowhere. There's no
They just put him
freeway
on
to
another
take
planet.
us to Saturn. You know what I mean? Like so.
Right.
But I do. I do. Like what other threat could there be? You know what I mean? As far as like there has to be another threat.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think Star Wars needs to get to. What I would like Star Wars to do is just get back to this guy or this regime doesn't like this one.
Right.
And if we knock this one out of order, which is a bad one, woohoo,
There's always going to be
save the day.
There's always going to be a fight with good and evil. I mean, it's biblical. That's how it is.
Yeah.
But you want to see a story unfold in a way that is familiar to everybody, especially with Star Wars, because it is all of them were very familiar, even with Phantom Menace, all of and the Attack of the Clones. There was something very familiar with it, even though they were not the best ones. They still told a story that was, oh, I get it. Oh,
I see.
And there was just too many plot holes with that, and I think that's why a lot of people were really unhappy with it. And I talked to a kid today at work. And he was telling me, because we were talking about Star Wars, because he had a shirt on that had Darth Vader, and so obviously I get to talking to people.
It wouldn't be Angie if she didn't.
No,
ask.
I didn't talk to but we got to talking, and he's telling me about how he loves Solo, how it was a movie that he found exciting and fun, and how he loves Star Wars. And I think a lot of fans they find a familiarity to it. And that's why they cling to it.
Yeah.
But then with this movie, it just didn't bowl over well. But one thing he did say is that the Solo movie didn't have a lot of advertisement, and which brings me back to Venom.
It didn't. The Solo movie didn't have enough.
Right, and which brings me back to Venom. Maybe Disney is taking that route to see how these movies do. If it takes off, then we explode with it.
I think I know for a fact that like within the social media day and age, a lot of companies and businesses and whatever use metrics. They actually go back. They all use graphs and pie charts and stuff like that, but they really look at insights. Who's clicking what? How many clicks? How many eyes were on this specific thing? So Venom not being Spider-Man or not being Wolverine or X-Men. X-Men is up there now as far as like, oh, X-Men, you mean Wolverine? And so people could associate it with Venom. People know Venom, but people know Spider-Man more. Like Spider-Man and Spider-Man.
It could be more like the I'm trying to think of what the character was. The Punisher.
Yeah. I mean, perfect example. There was 2 Punisher movies.
3.
And then there's a show on Netflix, and the show on Netflix.
It's terrific.
Yeah, and so maybe the Punisher, because some things are just good for TV. Like it could have been an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. movie, no one cares. You know what I mean? But so let's put it on ABC after Full House. I don't know what it was on ABC before that, but they put it on TV. You know what I mean? So something, and the Punisher might be just one of those. An hour-long episode is better than a 2-hour.
I loved Jessica Jones. I loved Daredevil. I liked Daredevil, the TV show. I was not a big fan of Daredevil.
And no one was.
It was really terrible.
Yeah, so some things are just better, you know what I mean? But with Venom, it's the characters. Eddie Brock, the character, is a dope character. That's why you have an actor like on Tom Hardy's level, because he's even got to himself like, oh, Tom Hardy in the movie, I'll go check it out. To where he's like, this character, I like this character, and the whole aspect of this alien thing, you know what I mean? I like it, so let me do it. So that's why it's so right in the middle. It's like it could take that leap to where Spider-Man is, but can it? You know what I mean? So
Maybe that's.
I don't know if that's the discouraging part for him, to where it's like, let me take a step. Maybe I kind of went too headfirst in with this project, and now they want 3 movies from me, and I kind of want another. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those actors like that, like, I don't know,
Temperamental.
Like, yeah, I mean, Christian Bale could have done.
Oh, I loved him.
But
Batman.
But Christopher Nolan, being one of those directors, was like, yeah, successful, but I had enough. It's like,
yeah,
you could do 3 more and make quadruple the money, and it's like,
maybe they were just afraid of oversaturation.
And having and those are those kind. So there's some actors and there's some directors, to me, where it's like, I played this character, but I don't want to be known for this character, because they are so artsy and so prideful in their work that I cannot be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's too bad, because those even though Mark Hamill is known for Luke Skywalker, he has branched out and done other things, but he still is so popular as Luke Skywalker.
Because no matter what, you're gonna, and that's what I think they fail to understand. It's like, Chris Hemsworth, I know you want to do all these other movies, but at the end of the day, kid's gonna be like, Mom, that's Thor. They're not gonna know you for the race car man movie, like the race car movie he was just in. I don't even know the name of that movie, but I know Thor's Thor 1, 2, 3, Ragnarok. So it's like too little, too late. Sometimes like too little, too late. Like,
but
it's okay.
There's nothing wrong with being known for those characters. There's nothing wrong at all.
That means you did something that the whole world, people
touched everyone.
But actors are so like. Because you're an actor, you know what I mean. You just learn to be that way as an actor. That's why
But you could be
cliche.
known for anything. You could do a movie about a president, or a movie about an astronaut, or a movie about a race car driver, and become very popular based on that. So where do you go from there? Why not enjoy it?
True.
Why not enjoy it?
My Uncle Steven, it's funny. It kind of, he told me like a story like last Thanksgiving. He was like, because he drives the Uber XL around. So, like, usually that means, like, the wealthier people get the Ubers, the Cadillac, Escalade. So, it's a nice Uber. And he's like, he likes picking up TV actors. He likes picking them up rather than film actors, because you could just tell the TV actors come inside like, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? You know what I mean? But the actors are just like, the airport, please. And he's just like... you know what I mean. So to me, it's just like, again, like
they're
cliche,
like on some higher level.
Yeah, it's just this sitcom.
That's too bad.
And it is, and then when the TV actors do get their break in film, that's why they don't last longer, but like the opportunity, they'll always be in something just because they're just easy to negotiate a contract.
Yeah, they want work.
Man, I was on CBS, like America Watch Me after the football game. I don't care. You know what I mean?
They want work.
Yeah, but as far as the actors, like, I admit, so I hope that's not the case, but that's kind of the only thing I could think of with the Venom situation. Is just him, like, I think I kind of just thought this. I kind of got like. Not too fast.
I think you're putting too much into it. We'll see what happens
I could be reaching,
on Friday. Yeah, you're reaching. Well, that's going to do it for us today at Radio Geonosis. You can catch us on like and subscribe on YouTube. We are on Facebook as Radio Geonosis 2.0. We're on Castbox, and we are also on iTunes.
Yes.
Next week.
Yeah.
What are we going to be doing?
Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram also.
Instagram, Twitter, and also. But next week, what will we be doing?
Aaron, you pick it. You picked it this week, which was really good.
I did. This was really good. I got a lot of things off my chest. I feel like
so
you did. I feel like you did. I feel like
I left my therapy session feeling good now.
I feel like we both did. But next week, I mean, we got Comic-Con coming up, so we could do what we're looking forward to. I believe, like, what we're looking forward to buy, what we're looking forward to eat, because I was looking at some food trucks that might be there again.
Yeah.
So I could all that because it's coming up. So,
right, and we'll go over just maybe some of the new books for Star Wars and a little bit of the Resistance. We'll go into a little bit of Star Wars Resistance.
Oh, and if you want your Comic-Con ticket with 12% off, just enter 12 off. You get
12 off, really?
You get 12% off your Comic-Con ticket. Yeah, you get 12% off your Comic-Con. The key word is 12 off, all one word.
Yes, and for Comic-Con. And like I said, I'm really hoping that we do have a booth there. But if we do not, I will be there on Sunday with you.
Yes.
From us at Radio Geonosis, we'll see you next time.
Later.
Bye.